Good morning, Card Beauties. RJ back with another video, so let's get to it. Today's random Mike Schmidt item of the day. Just picked this up off the bay. Another in my quest to complete this run of cards from 2005, Donruss Studios Portraits. This is the Donruss Studio back variation, the white version, colored image, not the black and white image. There are 56 cards variations in this subset. The Donruss Studios, they all look like this, every one. There are various backs. This one, each one advertises a different Donruss product. This one advertises Donruss Studio 2005. It was issued in the Donruss Studio pack, but again, multiple parallels. There are, for every back that there's a different serial number depending upon the front picture. The front picture is always the same. The border is one of four variations. It is what they call white, which is actually gray. It is the red version, which is more pink. It is the blue version, which is just subtly more blue than the gray. And then there is a sepia version, which is a very beige version, which is easily mistaken for the pink. So those are the four frame color variations. Each frame color variation of four has a colored image or a black and white image. So for each back, there are 8 different possible fronts, each with a different serial number 2. This one's numbered to 50. And there are 7 different products advertised, okay? 7 different ones. So there are 56 total cards in this set if you want them all. I am struggling to get them all. There are some numbered to as little as 5. So there's all kinds of limitations to what I can and cannot get based upon the availability, but I'm doing my best. I think I got about 40 some of them now out of the 56. It's going to be a while, but I'm struggling. I'm doing my best. It's one of several insert sets around about 2005 that I'm struggling to get all the variations of Mr. Schmidt. So my random Mike Schmidt item of the day, my random baseball item is much simpler. It is simply a 1961 early win Topps card. I am on my way to fill out another PSA order. I have had a number of cards in my Hall of Fame binder for a while that were these kind of cards, and over time I decided to take out the vintage cards and instead of using these vintage cards as Hall of Fame holders, send them in and get them slabbed for PSA purposes. This is probably going to grade a 1, 2 or 3 maybe, but more likely a 1, but I don't care. Just get all of these vintage cards slabbed up, which I think is a really better use than having them in some random binder in my collection. So 1961 Topps early win, my random baseball item of the day. Today's trivia question. World Series is over now. I believe wholeheartedly that the World Series we just witnessed will in fact be remembered as one of the greatest, if not the greatest World Series ever. I know a lot of people believe that the 1975 World Series is the greatest World Series ever. The 1975 World Series had lots of drama, went 7 games, yada, yada, yada. This World Series actually, I think, rivals it. There were so many twists and turns, so many unexpected heroes, so many plot twists. It really was one of the best World Series ever. And I think we'll be talking about it for a long time. And the MVP of this year's World Series was Japanese pitcher Yoshinobu Yamamoto. And he pitched, like 4 or 5 games he pitched in. He won he's responsible for 3 of the 4 victories. So he was really, really good. And having him as the MVP is not it was not an unwise choice. So, kudos to Mr. Yamamoto. My question to you today for trivia is, who was the first World Series MVP? Because, back in the early 1900s, they weren't selecting MVPs for the World Series. They weren't selecting MVPs for anything back then. Eventually they did. Somebody was the first. So my question to you is, who was that very first World Series MVP? What you playing for? 3 awesome cards of Hall of Famers. Got a 1998 Topps Randy Johnson season highlights card. Got an awesome Roberto Clemente card, 1983 Donruss Hall of Fame Heroes. And then lastly, 1986 Larry Fritsch Card Company Negro League Baseball Stars card of Josh Gibson. So 3 awesome cards for you. All you got to do if you're interested in getting those is shoot me an email with your guess to the question. I will include my email in the description below, along with a repeat of that question. You will have today and tomorrow to answer. We will pick a winner on Sunday, all right? Good luck to everybody on that one. So, today, what I want to show off, got a really awesome purchase on Facebook Marketplace recently. Really loving Facebook Marketplace. You never know what you might find there. And in my case, being a set collector, few people look at sets the way I do. Sets are really, really awesome things, especially if they're really oddball sets. And you can find some really oddball things on Facebook Marketplace, all right? So just recently, I picked up 2 awesome sets. They're very similar. They came out in the same year from the same manufacturer, but they are ones you don't come across unless you're a player collector. Unless you're a collector of players from this era, you probably don't have them in your collection, probably don't care about them, may not even know about them. And in fact, because this is the lesser known parallel version, some people out there probably don't even know that this one exists. So, from 1982, the PermaGraphis credit card set, but the gold one. So, the PermaGraphis cards were issued from 1982 from 1981 through 1983, okay? They were issued in 2 variations. One was just called Baseball All-Stars. The other was called Baseball Superstars, all right? There were various numbers of cards in the sets, and they always had those 2 each year, the All-Stars and the Superstars. So there was always 2 sets per year, and they always had a gold parallel version that came out with it. So you always had 4 sets, essentially, each year, total of 12 sets. Now, on the back, it looks just like a regular credit card, although there's stats. They are numbered down here in the bottom right. Get that in focus if I can. It's difficult to get things to focus here. But there is a number, a long number. In the end, it says 001. So Dennis Eckersley was card number 1. These are, let's check over here. I think these are the All-Star cards. Yeah, these are the gold All-Stars. The regular parallel just doesn't have this gold tint to it, okay? It's the exact same image. It's just not this gold tint at all. There are 18 cards in this version, okay? Dennis Eckersley, let me double check the numbering real quick. Yeah, 18, because if you look on the back, the number's to 18. So you have Dennis Eckersley, Cecil Cooper, Carlton Fisk, Robin Yount, a lot of Hall of Famers, Bobby Grich, and almost Hall of Famers, Ricky Henderson, very young looking Ricky, because this is 1982, Reggie Jackson, Freda Lynn, George Brett, Gary Carter, Dave Concepcion, Andre Dawson, Tim Raines, Dale Murphy, Steve Rogers, pitcher, Pete Rose, Mike Schmidt, and Manny Trio. I do have every Mike Schmidt of the PermaGraphis, all of them. I have the gold versions, the regular versions. I got them all, of course. You'd expect that. But anyway, so there are 18 cards in this set. And I picked it up for a really good price off of Facebook Marketplace just this past weekend. Put that right there. And the same guy who was selling, I noticed, had the same, not the same set, but the 1982 Superstar in gold format as well. So I said, hey, can I get that off you as well? He said, sure. So I got a good price for a bundle. I bundled. Now the Superstars, sorry about the knock here. The Superstars look very similar to the other one, but it says Superstar up there. Many of the same players, but obviously some new ones because Johnny Bench wasn't in the other set. And in this case, there are 24. Not sure if it's easier to see the numbering pattern there. Down in the bottom right, the last two numbers are the actual card number. I don't know why they had the other numbers. I don't know what the purpose is. It was made by a company called PermaGraphis. That's who created this. I don't know what their actual purpose was. I don't know what they made normally because they only did this credit card baseball release for 3 years, and they never did it again. So I don't know who PermaGraphis was, why they did this, and if they did anything else, but I'm glad they did this. And every once in a while, I'll find a whole set. These two, remember, there are 12 total sets, 2 a year, baseball all-stars and baseball superstars, the regular and the gold. So 4 a year for 3 years, 12 sets. I now have 4 of the 12 sets. Okay? I won't bother to let you know. If you look back at some of my other videos, you'll see some of the other ones I had. Anyway, let's go through the 1982 Superstar PermaGraphis cards. Got Johnny Bench, Tom Seaver, nice Mike Schmidt, Gary Carter. Like I said, some of the guys are duplicated here, but Willie Stargell, some of them aren't. Tim Raines, Bill Madlock, Keith Hernandez. A lot of should-be Hall of Famers in this set. Pete Rose, Steve Carlton, Steve Garvey, Fernando Valenzuela. It was right after his rookie debut, so to speak. Carl Yastrzemski, Dave Winfield, Carney Lansford. He is not an almost Hall of Famer, but he was quite the star at various points in his career, Carney Lansford. Raleigh Fingers, sporting the mustache with the Brewers back then. Tony Aramis was a really great veteran, often overlooked player. Cecil Cooper, George Brett, Reggie Jackson, Rod Carew, Eddie Murray, Ricky Henderson, a young Kirk Gibson too. So 2 awesome PermaGraphis credit card sets. If you are familiar with them, you're likely a player collector of one of the many players who were featured on the PermaGraphis card set. I'm obviously a huge fan, and because they're available in set format with just a couple of them, I'm going to grab them whenever I can. Facebook Marketplace has been a really good place for me over the last few years to pick up some, just sets or unique items that I normally wouldn't be able to find. I mean, on eBay, usually you're going to see these kind of things loose. Very rarely on eBay do you see them in set format. So very thrilled that I found them on Facebook Marketplace. I'm not sure if anybody else has any of the PermaGraphis sets. It'd be interesting to see if you do. I imagine most of you player collectors out there have every variation of your player. But would love to know if anybody else has any great PermaGraphis sets in their collection. That's all I have for you today. That's it. Got nothing else for you, but we will have one more on Friday. Great little thing. Been talking about for a long time. So um, come back again on Friday. And once again, we got more trivia and prizes to give away on Friday. So come back for that. All right. Thank you very much for watching. Hope to see you again. Have a great rest of your week. Take care.